It's all good.
Hey guys, it's Big Sexy with Big Sexy Outdoors. If you guys are looking for your bucks to be big and sexy like me, I recommend you go out and get yourself some Big Sexy by Domain. This product is filled with radish, turnips, and kale, and other vegetation to keep the deer coming back all season long. Go out to your local Tractor Supply and purchase some today. Big Sexy by Domain.
The sun peeks over the horizon. Your excitement builds. The animals in the field start to stir. The forest comes alive with sounds. The sunlight glimmers off the lake, and the mountains start to shed their morning fog. So load up your favorite ammo, grab a few buddies, and head out to make some memories. And tell the rest of the world that you've gone hunting. Gone Hunting is a 1 to 4 player game of family fun where you build a unique hunting ground, scout different animals, buy weapons and gear, and roll dice to hunt. Complete objectives and try not to miss. So let's load up the truck and back Gone Hunting today. See you in the field.
Hey, what's up,
That's right. We better see you in there. We're almost we're just about funded. 156 more to go. We better see you in there. If you want to get it, now's your time.
156 more to go. Woo, that's exciting.
Nice.
9 days left. Jump on it. That's one card. Have your card in the game. Just a couple of backers. Buy some for your friends. But we're right there. We are right there.
Let me add that, Chris. Chris and I are on the radio over Gone Hunting. Friday will be recorded, and Monday will be on the radio.
Yep. Which one?
Dude, that is awesome.
T102 out of Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
I booked us a gig. It's weird. I actually know the lady that I don't know her. She's on my Facebook. Casey Owen is her name. I send her a big long message telling her how nervous I was and I really want to see this go. And Chris had no nerves, but said, hey, any chance you'd help us out, put it on your radio station? And she's like, I'm going to do better than that. I have a business section that we do, and I want you and Chris, you to participate. Well, of course, I said, well, can my partner join? And she said, absolutely. So, we're stoked, man. I'm excited. I'm super excited.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Yeah, again, I'm used to talking in front of big crowds. So it's I've been on stage and everything before, so I'm fine with it. But I am kind of nervous about this. Not gonna lie. So I'm gonna offer something. I think we're gonna offer an add-on to the game. What do you think, Ben? You want to do it that way?
Yeah, you're gonna have it.
Okay.
So we're going to do this. Now I'm going to show you these. Now keep in mind my painting skills suck. But we're going to offer a pack of minis. This would be the first player marker or the round marker. Again, my painting skills are leave a lot to be desired.
Dude, that's cool.
And we'll have 2 female ones. The girl with the bow, and I think the girl with a rifle. And then I don't have her printed yet. Then we're going to have 2 male, one with a shotgun, one with a rifle.
Show them the real one, though. Show them the big sexy.
I'm getting there. Relax.
You gotta get to the big
build
sexy.
the tension, son.
No, there's no build. There's no build, brother.
Nah,
All gas, no brakes, Chris.
My
Yep.
gosh.
Wow.
BTD?
No way.
Yep.
That is something.
Yep,
Tell
we're
me
gonna-
that ain't awesome.
No way.
That is something. You
Yeah,
did
if
this
you
on
could-
your 3D printer? Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yep. I got
That's
a
awesome.
3D printer, and then we're putting these out. And so yeah, if you want to get one, we'll throw this one in with the miniatures pack, so you'll be able to own your own big sexy. What you do with him in the privacy of your own home is between you and God. But yeah,
Don't be
There we
sending me videos of somebody shooting them now. Don't do that.
I actually have 2 big sexies.
Dude. One wasn't enough.
One was not enough. You had to have 2. Yep.
So tonight, joining us
Yeah.
is, of course, Jazzbeer from Browtown Innovations, who we have
How's it going,
invited
man?
to join us every Monday. We absolutely love the guy to death. My daughter Haley's actually joining us as well. From there, it's just conversation. So, Jazzbeer, how's your week been?
Oh, guys, it's been good. It's been busy. I appreciate you guys giving me let me give you guys the slip last week, but it's been a busy couple of weeks. Did some duck hunting, got out in the field, just kind of prepping things, cleaning up skins from earlier in the season, and actually prototyping a new product. So a couple of new products. So it's been busy couple of weeks, and it's been exciting. So I'm sure you guys dealt with all the weather that Brandon and I did as well. So he was up in New York, me and down over in Ohio. But I would be interested in hearing how you guys fared through all of that, because it was pretty wicked over here.
We didn't fare well. I don't know about Chris, but we didn't fare well. I had broken pipes. I was down with the flu, pneumonia. That weather put me out.
Dang, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, you did okay?
Yeah, I was all right. No, I mean, yeah, it went fine here, but I mean, it did get down to like 4, and then negative the wind chill.
Yeah, it got brutal over here. We had all the wind that you guys got, and then we got lucky in that we didn't really have any sleet, but we did have a little bit of snow. But the big thing was the temperatures here got down to like 35 below.
Yeah,
It was just really freaking cold. So we did okay. My parents' house, we ended up on limp mode on the heater, the furnace, but other than that, we did well. But what was really interesting is I still got a ton of action on my game cameras. I've got a cell cam, and one of them was from about 20 miles south of here, and it was just blowing up on the second day because they're trying to go out and get feed and keep warm. And it was interesting because I saw a lot of movement that second day of the storm, but I would have expected everything to just hunker down and kind of try to figure it out. But it was kind of cool around here seeing how things dealt with it.
yeah.
See, we pulled ours. Hey, Chris.
I have mine sitting in the kitchen.
Mine needed update, so I ended up pulling mine because of the update.
Are you guys? Your guys' gun season is over, right?
Yeah, we're muzzleloader and second season archery.
Yeah, that's where we're at. We're I think actually muzzleloaders this weekend. I hunted last year. I wasn't planning on hunting muzzleloader this year, but I might try to sneak it in. So let me see what it is.
I just bought one. I've never shot one, but I bought one. I have it.
What kind?
Yeah, I know. I'm echoing bad. I don't know why. I've never echoed. I bought a Deer Hunter Oh, Traditions Deer Hunter.
Okay, all right.
I got it.
I've used the CVA. I liked the CVAs, but I haven't tried the traditions yet.
Dude, nobody makes them. Traditions is all that's being made right now in Flintlock.
Oh, I get. Yeah, that's right. Because you guys have traditional flintlock. Yeah, we don't have that in Ohio. It's muzzleloader or it's rifle or it's archery, and so there's no distinction between flintlock traditional and like any percussion cap or even like I think even the fire sticks I think are technically illegal here. I might have to double check that. Don't quote me on it, but have you guys seen those?
No.
It's really cool. It's like basically what somebody did is they tried to model a shotgun shell and basically make it so that you would have breech loaded ignition. So like essentially, your black powder is pelletized and then put into a little cartridge, and that is kind of like put in through the breech of a single shot rifle. You lock that up, and then you put your projectile through the muzzle just like you would a muzzle loader. So really, it's sort of like halfway between a cartridge loading firearm and a muzzle loading firearm, but it uses the propellant is all inside this little cartridge. And I think that some of the states out west basically said, that's too close to a rifle, so we're gonna go ahead and say no to that. But I don't think some of the eastern states have said yes or no to that. So I'll have to look in to see what Ohio actually landed on with that. It's kind of interesting technology.
I haven't even heard of it. I'm sure we'll deny it over here in PA. We deny, you know what I mean? I don't mean that smart. Our rules here are way different than like Sunday hunting. Sunday hunting is 3 days a year. That's it.
When you said that this weekend, that shocked me. I didn't realize that you guys didn't allow Sunday hunting.
Crows and predators. That's it. It's the only thing we allow.
Wow. Dude, there's probably like 120,000 deer that get killed on Sunday in Ohio every year.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's like, and here's the things for the working class guy. Now, I've always been a big believer on Sunday's God's Day. Always been a believer in that. Always will be. But I don't know about you, but when I'm in the tree, I talk to God drastically.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I feel like it's no different for me. Like if I got to go out Sunday, I not only do I get to hunt and enjoy it, but it's still God's day. It's still my time with him. I spend more time talking to God in a tree or in the woods, and don't take this wrong, than I do in a church.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think it's actually easier to focus on.
It is, because it's just you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's you in a personal conversation with Jesus Christ or whoever you see as God. And that's how I see it. That's my personal conversation. That's my personal feeling from it.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I think that I don't know if you guys have read those short stories that we've put up on our website, but pretty much every single story I write that has something to do with the outdoors has a reflection of creation in it, and it's like, for me, that's how I get my dopamine rushes. I go out and I hunt, and it gives me time to settle down, to think, and to enjoy God's creation, and also just connect with it. So, and that can be really difficult to do in a church or at home when there's a lot of noise and other things around. So, I think it's very important to understand that He's everywhere, and I mean, everybody approaches that a little bit differently, and I do think that obviously we're called to gather, and we should gather and worship together. But I also think that those two things don't have to be exclusive. You don't have to do one or the other. You can do both. So I'm a huge advocate for that. Absolutely.
I agree. I feel the exact same way, honestly. How do you guys feel? Is this been on?
Yeah, it is a time. How do you want to say? You get a lot more thinking done when there's not a lot of distraction around, because you're focused on the one thing, and then you're able to work through a lot more.
Absolutely. Brandon?
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I can't sit in a church pew. I can't do it.
No.
I know a lot of people enjoy going to church and the camaraderie amongst friends and everything like that at a church. But I find my God in the woods and swamp, wherever, driving down the road. Just little moments of every day, and I think sitting out there is in the mountains and seeing the beauty of things. I have to show you guys at some point. I got a little video clip of a piece of public land that I hunt that's got like this little rolling waterfall off, and it's just such a pretty piece of land that
Send it to Chris.
Yeah, you just
Send it to him quick, man. That'll go right with us talking about Pete.
I will try. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay muted a bit so you don't hear the printer going.
I can't hear the printer, Chris, honestly.
The 3D printer?
Yeah.
We could dive into that for a second. What kind do you have? Do you have a filament printer or?
Oh no, resin. Yeah, it's
okay. I was gonna ask you how you got that resolution. That's pretty cool. Have you been doing that for a while?
Literally just got it for Christmas, and I'm like, I think I can make minis for Big Sexy for the Gone Hunting game.
Dude, you did a nice job. Did you do the CAD work yourself, or?
No, it's actually one of the online design the figure things, and then I just bought the STL file, and then
dude, that is super cool.
Big Sexy.
I might have to do that and come up with my own version of Big Sexy to put on my mantle. They're just to watch over us.
See?
Don't worry, he'll be watching.
I know, Brandon. I want to see that video. But something if we have time for it. I'm not sure. I don't think we have a real. We don't have a real.
See the grin.
Today, right?
Yeah, we have a wheel today, but that'll be at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, it's the new year, and this is the first live session of the year. So, with that in mind, like, is there anything you guys want to share going in the new year about things you want to do, things you want to achieve, goals, new routines, things for the business? Anything you guys want to talk about or share?
Well, I mean, of course, we thank everybody every time we're on. I mean, the thank yous are never enough. I feel like we could give 1 million thank yous and it still ain't enough. I mean, you look at our Facebook and you look at we're right now up over 1,000 between the group and the page. We're over, I want to say over 1,100, Chris. YouTube just picked up more subscribers. We're at 200. We picked up 40 subscribers in the last couple of weeks.
Wow.
So, we're growing that way. I met with a guy. I want to say met with him. We had a phone conversation of a guy, and I'm not going to go into deep. Chris and I are shooting a new YouTube video. I cannot give deep detail, but know this. This dude has found a new way to scout land for deer. And I got a picture today. All I'm going to tell you is in 1 mile radius, he could show me
connect with it. So, and that can be really difficult.
So that I thought was absolutely Brandon's knocking us out. So I thought that was really cool. Chris, why are we echoing?
You're muted, Chris.
Sorry. Yeah, there was something going on with his setup that's given feedback, so I removed him out for a second till he gets back.
It was bad. It was really bad.
Yeah.
So he's got a whole nother plan. We're going to shoot a YouTube video. He's going to be on as a special guest for us. I'm working on getting that set up. I don't want to move too fast because I want to make sure we have the YouTube video ready the same time we have the same time we have him on as a guest.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping 2 to 3 weeks we can have that set up and ready. That's Brandon. It's Brandon. Every time Brandon gets on, we echo.
Yeah.
And then, so we're also working on, I brought it up before, Girl Power.
Yeah.
So Girl Power, February 6th, we have Angie Cokes, spear hunter on. She's a big spear hunter. I am super excited. The whole month of February is going to be Girl Power. So we have Angie Cokes coming on. We have Linda from Trapper Girl Incorporated. She's going to come on in February. Tess Talley has not signed a date, but Tess Talley is supposed to be on in February. If you guys don't know who Tess Talley is, she is huge safari hunter. And Black Giraffe was a big topic a couple years ago. People went crazy and ridiculed her, but they don't know anything about it. They just ridiculed her, not knowing that this had to happen regardless if it was Tess or anybody else. So we're going to have her on in February. I'm trying to book one more. If we don't get one more special guest, I'm going to have my daughter will be on for the whole month of February. Of course, girl power, and she's a hunter. But I'll try to get a bunch of women that hunt on the day nobody books. So
Okay.
I'm waiting for Tess to book so I can try to finish the month out. But I don't want to move too fast because I don't want to push Tess off either. I really want to have Tess on. So that's
Absolutely.
kind of
We'll be excited to hear who ends up finally committing and then getting the schedule for that, because that'll be an exciting month and lots of good things to share and learn from.
we kind of do our things 1 month at a time. Of course, object is still to grow BSO, one member in every state. That's going to be our goal. That is going to completely be our goal until we accomplish it. One BSO member in every state. And the end goal is we want to have divisions through the states. So we want our group in PA. We want Brandon to have a group in New York. We want, if you to have a group in Ohio.
Yeah.
We just want to keep growing. That way each group has their thing. Then we have our little meetings and hey, what's your plans this month? What are we doing? And just be able to keep sharing through the website and sharing through the YouTube and sharing through and just keep sharing content. I don't care if we reach 1 or 1 million at the end of the day. Chris and I have had this discussion. Some of the coolest things for me are my kids get so embarrassed. Some of the coolest things for me are when we go somewhere and a kid runs up to me and hugs me and like, dude, you're big sexy. I watch you. I seen your TikTok. I love that. I love that. That one kid we reach tells me he's watching and we're reaching out to him, getting him to, either more involved or more intrigued. And I love that. That's what matters to me.
That is really cool. That's amazing.
1 second. I got, okay, hold on. Present, stop screen because I had his thing share. Chrome tab, this one. And hey, what does that say to you?
$2,000. Somebody just did it, baby.
Yeah, buddy.
100%.
Let's
the Lord
go. Dude, that is
I'm all good.
awesome.
I'm all freaking goosebumped. I can't take it.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Somebody just backed the rest of it right there.
Right there.
Oh, dude,
Now,
that
quick
is
question though.
cool.
Can we still keep in on
Yeah.
that? Like,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. It can go and go and go. It's
So
just
All right.
reality of this is, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong. Reality of this is we still have to pay a certain amount. This is just pre-orders
Yeah.
to guarantee us that we have enough to make us. In other words, Chris and I are getting 500 copies.
yeah.
So-
So right now we have
It's
46
already
that are
in order.
sold. Yep.
There's no going back. It's already ordered. There's no coming back.
Sweet.
So this just kind of confirms us that there's $2,000 worth of games people want. They're getting them. They ordered them. As soon as they're printed, these guys are the first people getting them. And that's exciting. My God, it's so
Dude,
exciting.
that's super, super cool.
Awesome.
Well
Yeah.
done, guys.
Thanks. Yeah.
Chris works his butt off with this. Let me tell you, when it comes to advertising and promoting, and Chris, congrats, my friend.
Thanks.
That's a lot of hard work.
Chris,
paid
are you
off.
crying? Are you crying? You all right?
No, his
No, I
wife's
think-
cutting onions.
That's my boy. He was crying there a little bit. He's excited.
Yeah,
That's
full
good.
emotion. They love
Chris,
to see
don't
it.
you dare be upset about being happy, brother. Don't you dare.
He
I
went
love
off the air to go get some onions to stick in his teeth.
Yeah, he got an onion. He was eating an onion. That's all.
Yeah. No, really. Thanks everybody. I couldn't do this without you. I mean, yeah, I enjoy making the minis for you, and we'll put those out, and we'll offer them to you. But yeah, this one means a lot. We worked hard on this one, and I want, again, you were asking about what we want to do for the year. My goal for this whole thing is, even if we only get a relatively small piece of land or something, that we can just take people out and do videos for them. Like, you've never been out hunting before, you haven't done. I want us to have like the big sexy plot where we can just take you out and here's how you do it. Teach somebody how to do it. That's my goal.
Young generation. That was really our big conversation. Young generation.
Yeah, and this helps. This really does. This helps get us towards that.
Awesome.
That is awesome.
Thank you, Jesus. Let's not let him forgotten in all this. Thank you, Jesus.
Absolutely.
That's a big deal, dude. I'm tickled. My whole night went. You guys, I'm happy. This is phenomenal. I'm just so happy right now.
Yeah,
that's a big step forward. I'm excited to see how that develops, and I'm interested to hear more about this property idea and how you want to integrate that into what you guys have already been doing. As you guys are already impacting so many people and giving them things resources and opportunities to learn about what hunting is, I think that'll be cool to have a place where you're guaranteed access, you're guaranteed solitude, so that way you can share with people so they can have that experience in a safe environment. It sounds really cool. I'd love to learn more about that.
Yeah, like we would take people out. Of course, we'd re-record it. We'd have blinds set up. We'd have the plots all taken care of, and we couldn't guarantee anything, of course, because that's just the way nature is. But to be able to take somebody out on like a rabbit hunt or a pheasant hunt, where you can just take them through the field and just this is what you're doing, or a crow hunt like you were just on.
You know what? Actually, Ben, that's a good point. That brings up something I wanted to ask and kind of have you share a little bit about. Can you tell us about the crow hunt and also what happens to the crows afterwards?
So we, Dave and John, Dave has crow hunted for years, PSO member Dave for years, and got out of it. He used to do it with his dad. So they called me. First, I bought decoys off of Dave. Well, then Dave went and bought a call. Now he wants to crow hunt again. So, now we're kind of like a team. He brings a call, I bring the decoys, we just, so he called me, he said, I got a bunch of crows out on my property. Any chance you want to go check them out? See if we can kill any. Well, of course, me, and I'm fine. If I'm available to hunt, we're going. So we get out there and, we set up. They bought a Fox Pro Shockwave with a bunch of crow calls already on it. We broke branches off. If you watch a YouTube video, you'll see we were breaking branches, putting crows on top of the trees, and then letting them up real slow. So we get in there and we start calling. And one of the neatest things, I can tell you that the crows give you, from what I've seen my first time ever out, the crows give you about 3 rounds before they quit. So they'll give you about 3 swoops and then they're gone. So the first time, here comes this crow, right? And Dave goes, Ben, that's low enough. Take it. Boom, down it went. So then his brother John, because there was so many following it that we didn't see, shot one real high in the air. I don't even know how he hit it. That one fell. Then we had another one land in the tree aside of us that came through. We shot that one. But regardless of what we shot, the coolest part of the experiences is when you first turn the call on, right? The crows just go crazy. You can, if there's a crow within a mile, you're going to know it. And they just start circling and swarming, and they keep looking. So the decoys are the big part, just like a goose or duck or anything else. They're looking for something. So it was such an awesome experience. We had a full choke in the gun, so we could reach 60, 65 yards. We ran with a full choke.
Wow.
I didn't use high brass because they're crows. I don't mean like I'm not going to waste a high brass shell on a crow, but what a cool experience it was, man. I plan on doing. Matter of fact, Dave messaged me tonight. Can we go crow hunting this weekend?
That's super cool. I know when we've been out coyote hunting, we've sometimes used crow calls, like crow distress calls. and we've had them like just come out and just start, circling and stuff. And like you said, I couldn't really understand why they would never come lower, but that makes sense. They're looking for other crows. They're looking for the actual commotion, and they're not seeing it. So
their visual is better than a turkey, honestly.
really, wow.
Yeah, so they can see from a half a mile in the air that you're already sitting there.
Wow.
Yeah, you can't, if you so much as move a twig. If you watch the YouTube video, you'll hear us say a bunch of times, well, they seen us. And it was just a matter of maybe a hand twitch when they were way up in the air, or our arm moving a little bit, or
wow. I'll have to watch the video so that I can kind of wrap my head around that, because that's pretty. I mean, that's not very forgiving at all.
Yeah, no, you want to be super secluded and like in a blind or completely camoed out when you're doing that.
Wow. Dang it! And here I watched the Andy Griffith show, and he just walked out into a field with like blue jeans and a plaid vest, and off he went.
Well, we probably look like him. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I probably look like him. I had 9 shells in my pocket. I had a box and stuff, but I had about 9 shells. I threw in my pocket, and I left the box in the decoy bag. Shells, and literally in 10 minutes, I'm like, "Hey, I got to get more shells, guys. I'm out."
Oh, this is it, Chris.
There it is.
Yeah, I sent it. I don't even know what I said. This video's from a while ago, but it's a nice little waterfall there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now you found that in the woods.
Yeah, it's on a piece of state land near my parents' house. Just a pretty little waterfall there.
Is the size kind of deceptive in the video? Like, how big is that?
Yeah, it's probably, I'm going to guess it to be about 14 feet tall, 15
Really?
feet tall. Yeah, it's a lot taller than you think.
Wow.
And that thing, so you're up a lot higher than it is actually from where I'm standing in that video. I'm probably 45 feet above the base of that thing.
You're looking down in almost like a canyon.
Yup. It drops right off right there. Like, you can't really tell from the video, but it literally drops right off right there. And that thing sits down in, and it's just really cool. And there's a couple of smaller ones that run down through, but that one's probably, I'm going to guess at 14, 15 feet.
Wow.
And then,
that's a good size waterfall.
That little spill out that it's in there, that's actually about 6 foot deep at the base, and it's probably only about 24 foot wide all the way around.
Wow.
But it's just a cool little spill out there.
Well, that's a cool find in the middle of the woods
pretty.
there.
Yeah, it's
You
back
should
in
go
the middle of
swimming.
nowhere. What's that?
Go swimming. What the
I'm
hell?
6'7". My feet will
Polar
touch.
plunge! Polar plunge!
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen. No, sir.
Do you guys do a polar plunge there in PA?
They do them. My big butt don't do them, but they do them.
I did it once.
Do it, man. You get the mass, the heat retention. You should be like, it should be easy peasy.
A couple years ago, I jumped in just for craps and giggles one time, just to kind of made my own polar plunge. I hit the water, honest to God. I thought I was dead.
I've done involuntary polar plunges where you fall through the ice fishing.
Oh my God.
That sounds exciting.
I was drinking one January before I stopped, and I thought, I think I'll go swimming, and I climbed in our pool, broke through the ice. That was not the smart. That'll sober you up fast.
I bet.
So I did one.
Yeah, survival really kicks in at that point, I imagine.
Tell you what else kicks in. Run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Run, not survival. Run. I want out.
So
I used to do every year we do a polar plunge over in Chippewa Lake, Ohio, and the last 4 or 5 years I've gone because my buddy's got a cottage over there, and so I've done that a few years, and then we've got I went to Ohio State, and they had Mirror Lake there on campus, and that was like the thing was before the Michigan Ohio State game, you would go jump in the lake the night before, and it was usually like in November, so it was always a good time. It was always incredibly cold though. So I've come to look forward to it because it's sort of like a reset for my year. It's like a very grounding experience. But I think I got my fill of that over in South Dakota this year, so I might pump the brakes on that.
Might
this time.
skip out on this one.
Yeah.
I don't
was
know
gonna
if you
say-
seen my daughter's face when you said you went to Ohio State. I don't know if you noticed that.
I didn't. Was it
Oh, no,
one
she
of
wants
these
to
or was
go.
it one of those?
Oh,
or
that's
somewhere in
somewhere
the
she
middle?
wants to go.
It's Oklahoma, but like
It's a cool school. I will
She's
be
like-
happy to answer any questions. So, yeah, I studied mechanical engineering there, but I absolutely loved it.
Ohio State.
Nice.
Yeah, he's at Ohio State. That's what he just said.
Yeah.
No,
Julie-
I've only ever done involuntary polar plunges. So when you go through the ice or have to swim back to shore because the ice melted, other than that, I'm good.
Should the losers of next year's the Buck Challenge have to do the polar plunge?
Only if it's Dave or Bill.
Listen, I still want to do a YouTube video where all of us guys are in it and we all shoot a balloon and we got to do whatever's on the balloon. So we tag the balloons with different things. So, drink hot sauce, polar plunge, just really weird off the chart stuff, but do it as a shooting and make it fun. You know what I mean? Just something really fun for us guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that.
Something fun, like drinking hot sauce.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be funny.
Yeah, that sounds
It'll be
great.
fun, it'll be funny.
No, I'm with you. I
But
love
just
it.
kind of something we can chuckle at each other, I guess, is more what it is. I mean, it ain't fun for you or me, but
Yeah.
it'll be funny to the other six. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I'm in for it. I'm in for it. I'll give her a go.
Yeah.
I might have to do it remotely, but I'll definitely get in on it.
Yeah, we'll come up with some. I can have one of my kids pull names, and then you just kind of get your hey, Haley can shoot for me, something like that. You know what I mean? And then we can we'll make it work one way or another.
I say we do trick shots or
Yeah.
something of the sort, or like a clay shoot. Loser has to do
No,
something.
no, we don't do clay shoot. Dave Barnes shoots.
Well, clay shooting could work. Yeah, I'm gathering that's a very profitable thing. for
Dave
us.
Barnes
Is that
was a
right, Brandon?
championship shooter, fellas. We're not doing clay shooting
Well, let him use one of our guns. I'll bend a barrel or something.
unless we're giving him a 22 long rifle. I'm out.
I bet you can still get it. Well,
Red Ryder.
let's do a long range deal then or something.
Yeah, that's something fun. Something with a bow or something.
Yeah.
I like it.
So
I think it'd be cool.
Juliet was just down. Okay. And she gives me this because she thinks this report is going to let her get a red fox as a pet.
Not yet.
Hey,
Not-
So,
That's one less. We got to call in. Do it.
That's what I'm thinking.
You can get those from Russia. No problem.
you can get them here in the United States. So I funny story on a red fox for a pet. So at the farm that I lease, I pull in one day and I see something kind of fluffy sitting in the middle of the driveway, and it was a dead fox kit,
Mhm.
So I disposed of him, whatever. And there's like an old abandoned trailer on this farm, like a living trailer, and there was two other kits, and for whatever reason, the mother must have abandoned them. So we started feeding them cat food, and we named him Felix, and we ended up with just one of them. But I have not seen him recently. But when he was pretty much full grown, I had seen him out and about, and I could yell his name, and he would stop and come towards us, and then he would only get within 25-30 feet, and then he would flee. But I will try, and while I'm doing this, I'm going to try and find some pictures of him for you.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do like one of those. What is that? Heifer International or something, where we can tell her that you're raising a fox for her
4.
out
Yeah.
somewhere else, and
You're sponsoring the fox.
exactly we're sponsoring it. Actually, that would be kind of a cool thing, like sponsor. Sponsor.
I still want to shoot it, though. I'm not going to lie. I still want to shoot it. It's not going to work.
Well, I wonder how fox tastes.
Ooh, I've never eaten it. Just like that crow. We left that crow out for the coyotes.
Mm-hmm.
He fox and coyote hunts out there, so he was like, "We're gonna let this here, make it. It's a natural dead bait. You're not baiting. You're not. We shot him and just left them lay, but
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about it. I thought that was cool just because honestly, like around here, when people shoot crows, they just put them in a trash bag, take them to landfill, or they just throw them in a ditch somewhere. But you were saying that you guys kind of just bring them all in one spot, and then you can use them for your predator hunting, which helps you with your predator control, and it kind of minimizes the spread of everything. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean that's really the easiest way to do it. I mean, that's kind of like when we shoot rabbits or ringneck or those things. It's kind of the same scenario. So we just throw it in a bag, take it where we plan on, hunting or doing, and dump it on a pile. We don't. Why? I mean, we're gonna throw it in a landfill, right? So at least in the woods, these things are gonna eat it. They eat ringneck every day. They eat rabbit every day.
Right.
So at least you can feed them and give back to. I always feel like you should give back to nature as much as you can.
Yeah, kind of leave as much there as you can.
Yeah.
I know the other thing that's interesting is like kind of avoids that acclimation to human food. Oh, dude, that's cool.
Yeah, I wish I could zoom in, but
Dude, that's really cool. Look how little he is.
Dude,
Mhm.
man, they almost look like if you weren't paying attention, like the shape of their face is almost like a little raccoon's.
Like
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. Haley, start asking your dad for one of these things.
we're eating it, dude. I'm
Did
telling
you
you.
guys get the picture? I had to log off there for a second to get that for you.
Yeah, we did.
yeah,
see it.
I put it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, he was
So-
a cute little guy.
So, Brandon, New Year, any goals? Anything you're working towards?
Oh my god, I don't even know. I'm gonna take it one day at a time here, man. Don't jump me. Well, I want to put together a snow goose hunt, and it's here in April, or I should say in April. Excuse me. From February to March is kind of when the migration is here. I do not have the decoys to put on a good snow goose hunt, but I've been calling around trying to find different guys that do a guide service and go there. So I did find a guy today who's got a pit blind who runs 10,000 decoys in the spread.
Holy moly.
Yeah, and so he can take 14 guys in the pit blind here in New York. It's a $3,000 flat rate for the day. But if you average that out among 14 guys, it's $214.70 some cents. So I don't think that's a bad thing because we're allowed to take 25 birds per man per day. No possession limit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey,
So,
just in case you missed this,
was your hand broke?
New
No, it's all good. Yeah.
New York's only like, I don't know, 3 hours max or something.
Hey, if you guys are 100% serious on getting some guys together that want to go into the pit blind, I am 100% down with throwing down and putting a deposit on that, and getting that set up for like the first week of March.
Let's see how many guys we can get together, man. I'd love to go. That'd be awesome.
I can ask Kayla too and see if she'd be interested in giving it a go too, because I know that's like one of those hunts that I feel like would be a ton of fun and a great like starter hunt for anybody, because like there's going to be a ton of action. It's going to be comfortable. There's going to be a ton of people around, very social. Like, it sounds like it would be a blast.
Yeah,
Dude, I'm telling you, it's going to be a video to remember.
That's where I'm at with it right now. So it was funny. I was telling my buddy Tyler, and he's like, I don't even know 14 guys who goose hunt, and I'm like, I'm sure I can dig up some people here somewhere, one way or another.
You just need 14 people that can hold a shotgun.
That's
and
pretty much it.
$215.
And I'll just throw my shotgun when it's empty at them and be like, hand me that one. Let's go. So exactly. So
Listen, we can get how many? 25.
yeah, 25 birds per man.
How do they eat? Pretty good.
Oh yeah, they taste great. I mean, if you overcook them, they taste like crap, as does everything.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so geese. I don't know if you guys have really eaten geese or ducks.
Like roast beef with
I
wings.
used to hunt geese all the time. I think it tastes just like roast beef.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I think so. I either pan fry them or turn them into stuff, but pan fried or on the grill, as long as you keep them moist on the outside and then get your dry crust. They taste like a sirloin steak if you cook them to medium.
Yeah, duck, especially like corn-fed mallard.
Oh yeah, big fat suckers
Oh.
just eating.
Yeah, nice.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
great. Look.
Just so good, man.
Oh
The
no, they
first time
really.
I ate, so my first duck was a hen mallard, and I shot it out of a creek in the middle of a cornfield. And when I opened up its crop, it was like 100% corn,
Full
and
corn.
then a little, I guess not the crop, but the gizzard, like 100% corn. And like I'm looking at this, it was like, this has got to taste good, right? And
Yeah.
I just like when I cut into that breast, I'm like breasting it off, and I'm looking at this, it looked like a piece of like fillet.
Yeah.
And I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, this is what I don't even know what to expect. Other
Yeah,
than
and
it's
as
just gonna
long
be
as you
amazing.
as long as you don't overcook it or way undercook it, you're good. I mean, you can go anywhere in between, and it tastes like a nice steak.
Mhm.
I know guys that make it jerky. They actually turn their ducks and
Oh
geese
my
in it.
Yeah.
Him with the jerky.
Geese,
And the-
I've heard. Ducks,
And the
I've never
dried
heard.
beef. And you know how you make dried beef? They make it into that. These guys out here go crazy over that. Oh my God, ducks, geese, and doves. They turn it all into one big, and they just
Okay, I'm with you.
yep, and they go crazy over that.
So, go ahead.
They actually sell at the Cabela's down here in Hamburg, which is like 10 minutes from us. A goose jerky kit, like the seasonings and everything else. Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
I know goose jerky is super popular in Ohio. Pretty much everybody that I've ever met that hunts geese in Ohio turns it all into jerky, which surprised me because I've only shot one Canada, let me qualify that. I've only shot one Canada and I've only shot one goose, so it was a Canada. So, but I ended up like plucking the whole thing and then we roasted it in like whole goose. And it was like roast beef. And I was like, why would people turn this into jerky when you could just breast it off and like you could even sous vide it and it would be incredible.
yeah.
My thought exactly. That's why I don't turn stuff into jerky.
Listen, all my birds are the same. I take the breast off, right down the breastbone. I cut the breast off, and then I take the two legs. There's nothing else worth taking on a bird.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of the times I would agree with that. But Haley, you just got some pheasants. So how did those turn out? How did you guys do those?
How'd you do the birds? How'd you clean them? You cleaned them.
Oh, sorry, I'm tired. We plucked them, and then we didn't like fully pluck them. We just like pulled enough to where like you could like cut down the breastbone and stuff. And then we did the legs, and then we cut the feathers and the tail off mine because that was my first ever like wild pheasant hunt.
Cool. So you've got one of these hanging around over there somewhere.
What did we do with the wings? Tell them what we did.
We vacuum sealed them for our dog for
For
training.
the dogs.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a heads up play actually.
Well, did you ever go to buy a pheasant wing at Cabela's? They're $20 for two.
We have 6.
So
It
we
might
had
be
8.
somebody $20 worth of shotgun shells to kill that thing. That's probably why.
That's right.
So what
And
we do is
$3 worth of gas probably too.
when we kill ducks, we
Right.
kill ducks or we kill geese. Anything along now, goose feather's pretty big. I haven't frozen a goose feather. I've caught them and just taken a piece. You know, a wing's huge for a goose.
Sure.
But ducks, and we just cut them off with a pair of dikes, and then we vacuum seal too.
Nice.
Chris,
I saw a little eyebrow raise over there.
my daughter, he says Canada goose too, and that's when my daughter started laughing.
That's because it's Canada goose, not Canadian geese.
He keeps telling me to change it on Gone Hunting, and I'm like, it's Canada Goose.
I said it's
It is a
Canadian.
It's a Canada goose.
Just snake with wings.
It's just a way we found to save money and still utilize the maximum of the birds.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Well, you
also
know-
call them Cobra chickens.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You're not wrong.
Uh-huh.
That's exactly how they are too. They kind
Oh,
of coil
they're
back. They're gonna give you one of those.
They're nasty. They will try and bite you. Oh man. They're
You ever get bit by a goose?
No.
No, I got run
No.
over by one this year.
I always bite them first. It kind of
I
puts it
was
all.
fishing.
That's it. Yeah, you got to take that right away. Take charge.
10
Speed
years
it
ago, I was fishing out at Rock Creek, out here in Pine Grove, and I was going down the creek and I was spinner fishing. You know, I wasn't paying attention. I throw out, reel in, hook a couple, throw out, reel in. And all of a sudden I heard this noise. And I was like, what the heck was that? And I didn't get a chance to turn around. And that son of a gun flew right into my butt and bit my freaking butt. I was running through the creek and this thing just kept biting the tar out of my butt cheeks. Oh my God, till I got to the end. I mean, I got 100 yards down the creek in a full bore fat man run. And this goose, it was like this goose was laughing at the end of it. This thing thought it was the greatest thing. I'll tell you what, it took everything I had not to go back and beat the crap out of it with my fishing rod when we were done. But I mean, you don't even know they're laying in the grass in the springtime when they're on them nests. You don't even know they're there.
Wow.
That was the best 6 months of training I ever spent.
Yeah, I got my butt whooped, dude. I got waylaid. I mean, it was bad. He just kept, and I'd be like, "Oh, you son!" Trying to get out of the creek, and he just kept coming. I mean, there was no getting away from him for at least 100 yards.
Oh, they're fast. Well, we used to work. So I used to do all these pipeline projects for that oil company, and I was responsible for a bunch of the above ground storage tanks. And those are always kept in those protective dikes in case there's, some kind of catastrophic failure. And so all those dikes have a little bit of standing water in them, and the geese just love them. I mean, they just can't get enough of them. And every spring we'd be doing some project at somewhere, and one comes to mind over by St. Louis. There's this inspector that there's this pair of geese, and they pretty much let everybody alone, but there was something about this guy that they couldn't cope with, and they would chase him, and he was the safety inspector. They chased him all over that dike, and of course he's been responsible for kind of calming everybody down. It was so funny. They did chase him everywhere. It was they would attack his truck, but nobody else's. It was really an odd thing. So maybe he got a geese and I didn't know about it.
They're nasty. I've heard some really mean stories. I know a guy who drove truck told me they used to attack his truck when he go in.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, them things can be nasty. They scare me a little bit. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm ever since I got sneak attacked or dive bombed.
That's hilarious.
So, now off subject a little bit, but one of the cool things pheasant hunting, I think you guys will find really interesting. So now we just had, negative temperatures, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're hunting, and she'll tell you this. We're going down through, and my dog's, sniffing, going, looking for birds. All of a sudden, I said, holy what was that? Here comes this 7 foot, 6.5 foot snake at my dog. I mean, like it was midsummer, this thing moved. You know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
I'm like, what the heck was that?
Yeah.
So in the meantime, my dog flushes a bird.
Wow.
So now I'm torn between, do we go after the bird or do I freaking kill this snake? So I said to her, I'm like, listen, there's a ringneck just landed in that tree. She's never killed birds. I'm like, there's a ringneck just landed in that tree. The dog just flushed. I said, it's 60 yards out. You can shoot it. Get up here. So she's, sneaking around where the snake is looking for her. She was terrified. Get her up. I show her the bird, the pheasant up in the tree. I'm like, shoot that bird in the tree. She's like, I don't know, Dad. I don't know if I can hit it. I said, shoot it. So she's there. Boom. Pumps a shell. Boom. Dude, it was like this bird was a decoy. Every shot she fired, it didn't even move. It just
Wow.
I missed twice.
So she had, what I could figure is she has a 20 gauge. And I was assuming that at 60 yards, the bullets were dropping off. Is all I could carry.
Yeah, they just lost their momentum.
Yeah.
I mean, why else would the bird not at least fly? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Well, it may not even be able to it may not. It's so far away, and with the trees, it may have just been like something's happening somewhere.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like it just kept
exactly.
looking, and so I said to her, "Hey, take this gun. Take this gun." I hand her my 12 gauge, and she points up in the tree, and boom! And all of a sudden, you watch this bird. It was hilarious. It just went. And then, of course, it fell. It was over a cliff, so it was like down over a bank, and this bird just felt like forever.
Oh,
You know
wow.
what I mean? So in the meantime, I said to her, get the dog to go get that bird, which I didn't think the dog would do, honestly, because the dog didn't even see it. Normally the dog sees him, dog goes for him, or hears the bang, or I point, 100 things, but this dog had nothing. It was a complete blind retrieval.
Wow.
Not only did the dog find the bird in literally a minute and come right up over the bank, so I said to her, hey, I said, I'm going to go get this snake. I'll be right back. So I go over and I'm trying to find this snake, and I couldn't find it. She's terrified. She's running over the bank with the dogs. The snake's going to eat my dog. So
They've been known to do that.
I ended up aiming where I knew the snake was in the grass. I couldn't hardly see the snake. I just knew it was in there. And I fired a shot in there because I didn't want anybody else's dog bit. There was people all over. So I go in with my gun, and I'm digging in this bush with my gun. Now, of course, it's unloaded at this point. And I lift this thing up. This thing was so heavy. I'll bet you it was that round. Now, I know it's hard to see how, but I'll bet you it was 2-3 inches round.
Wow.
And it was 6.5. I thought it was 7. It was about 6.5 feet long.
Wow.
Here it was a huge rat snake, not a black snake, a rat snake.
Wow.
And they're mean. I mean, they're mean.
Dang, dude. I didn't realize they would get that big.
Well, I didn't realize they'd go after my dog and negative temperatures, but
yeah, no kidding.
So I mean, anything's possible. I thought it was a rattler. That's really what I thought it was.
Yeah.
And in PA, you're allowed one rattler with a PA hunting license.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I assumed it was a rattler, and I was like, well, I'm going to get rid of this thing. I'm going to put it out of its misery before it bites somebody's dog.
Absolutely.
I couldn't believe the size of this snake, and more than I couldn't believe the size, I couldn't believe it was just negative temperatures.
Yeah.
The day before.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe the
30.
He's asking what.
Oh, it was like maybe 20 degrees out the day before, and then it was like 40, 50 degrees that day. So it was just kind of like weird.
Yeah, I wonder if this like the major temperature swing from the system that had come through, like sort of threw it off or something, woke it up.
Threw it off, yeah.
That's what I was thinking. It threw it into shock.
It was in like a big brush pile though too.
Yeah,
like hidden.
Yeah, it was in a big brush pile.
Dude, I'm glad you guys there wasn't like an incident because that would have really sucked.
Well, my poor dog. I mean, she's honestly, that's the first time I've hunted her live. Like now, when I say live, we do a lot of training sessions.
Yeah.
We hide feathers. Like if I called my dog in here right now and I told her to find,
she'd go crazy.
Listen, she'd jump that gate. She'd rip down my curtain. You wouldn't stop her. She's on a mission.
That's awesome.
But
that's a good dog.
Yeah, she does real well. So we do a lot of training sessions with feathers. I have floating dummies that we use, for the water, for ducks and stuff. And we do all that, and she absolutely loves it. But it was the first time ever taking her out, and I was like, man, oh man, I don't know how she's gonna do. But I'm gonna post a YouTube video. I was debating if I was gonna post it, only because there were so many ringnecks. Like when you first see the video, my dog ran into the pile and 50 yards to go. I'm not kidding. I mean, we couldn't shoot them. There were guys on the other side, and they were, there was birds everywhere. We would have killed each other. So my daughter was screaming at one point because there were guys shooting at us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they didn't care.
I was worried about the dog.
But she was afraid the dog was going to get shot. She was flipping out, shooting the dog, and so you'll see in the video. I will post it. One of the reasons I wasn't going to post it was my daughter shot one off the ground. She was just walking, and my dog flushed one, and I shot. And then I said to her, "Well, go up and see if you can find one on the ground up there. You never shot one, and get one under your belt." And I literally didn't finish talking, and I heard boom, and I was like, "What the heck did you shoot?" And then she come up with this big ring neck, But so that part I wasn't really worried about because I thought that was cool for her. As a kid, being able to pull one, I thought that was worth. I didn't care if it was standing, sitting, jumping jacks. It didn't matter. I was happy.
Yeah, and that was Haley. Haley, it was you.
Yeah.
What did you think? What was it like?
It was amazing. I loved it. I asked him like literally that day if we could go like the next day, but I went rabbit hunting the next day instead. So
That's awesome.
So we in that video there's one where my dog chased a female pheasant, which we can shoot them.
Okay.
Years ago we couldn't. Now we can in PA. And you could see my dog chasing the pheasant that wouldn't fly, and she was going to catch it. And I knew if she caught it, we were stuck with it because she would, she'd have killed it. Even though she has a soft bite, she would have brought it right to me, and we would have ended up snapping it. You know how it goes.
Sure. Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I followed this bird for a while, running underground, and I was finally like, "Hell, I'm taking it." When the dog cleared, boom, and I shot it right on the ground, which I hate that, but there were so many that, so many people that I said to her, I'm like, look, let's get a good day of hunting, and however we do this, and let's get out of here safe, because I'm telling you, it was scary. There were people everywhere.
Yeah, that was opening day of deer season in Ohio. Me and a buddy went to a piece of public land, and I've never hunted opening day of gun season in Ohio on public land. I've always gone to private, or I've just not hunted. I've just bow hunted somewhere else. And I was shocked. But and it's not in the region we're in, there's not huge areas of public land, and there's no state parks or anything like that can really be hunted. So pretty concentrated, but at the one trailhead that I was at, there were 15 guys, and we went all the way back to the back of this property, which I say all the way back. It was only a mile or something like that. But we went as far back as we could, and I ended up having like a few folks basically like right on the other side of a hedgerow from us. They had no idea we were there. They were like, they weren't wearing hunter's orange. They were talking. It was just like, it was such an odd experience, and I hate to be like the kind of like the begrudging guy, but I was sort of like, what are we doing here? Like, those guys didn't have good mentors as they were learning how to hunt, because it was just like the way they were going about it. It was just like, man, I'm kind of, we ended up actually leaving, going to a different spot, just because we figured if one of these guys is not paying attention, I mean, just with all the other things that they were doing wrong, like, we just don't want to be on the other side of this fence row, and they just decide to shoot at something that moves, and that's us. And I got shot at about 3 years ago. Actually, no, it was almost 3 years. It was 2020, and I was hunting youth gun season. I was bow hunting on public land, and this guy shot across the field at what he thought was a deer, and it was me walking through the brush. And he had just told his grandson, like, "Oh, there's a deer over there. Go ahead and shoot at it." So the kid lobbed the slug over there without ever verifying what it was or who it was, and ended up missing me by a little ways. But it was like, oh my god, let's stop that right now. And just had a conversation with him. Was like, you guys might want to just go home, call it a day. And I think they understood kind of what we were getting at. But it was like, man, that was probably the closest I've ever come to having a bad accident on public land, and I'm just glad it worked out the way it did. But I was shocked, because here's this 70-year-old dude with his grandson. Like, you would think, you'd be like, all right, this is how we do it, and don't always verify and all this kind of, nope, none of that ever happened. It was sort of like they kind of treated it like it wasn't a big deal at first, and it was like, it's a huge deal.
It's a huge deal. That's murder.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It doesn't matter whether you can see him or not. You still pull the trigger. You're responsible. For what happens. So
I had that happen probably going on about 10 years ago with my father. We were set up for spring gobbler, and we had a nice little decoy spread out, and I had a jerk rake set up to one of the decoys so it would move motion-wise, right? And we were on private land, but there were some other guys who had permission to be on that land. And luckily, we were set up. I never set up directly behind my decoys. I always set up in what I believe to be a cross zone. And it has nothing to do with getting shot at. It has to do with you're catching the birds in the cross zone as they're heading towards your decoys or away from your decoys, right? So I always have an open shot without shooting a $70 decoy. So we're set up,
What a
and
system.
we never saw these other guys come in, but they must have seen our decoys all the way from the road, which was 400 or 500 yards away. And they came around the back side of the hill to try and sneak a shot in from across the field. And they didn't realize that our decoys were not live birds. And I was working birds that were coming from behind us. So they're out in front of us. We got birds coming in from behind us. They see my decoys. We got birds gobbling. So from where they were, it probably sounded like my tom decoy gobbling. And of course, we're still clucking and purring and whatever. And I never saw this guy until he popped up out of a drainage ditch and shot my decoy. And I was like, holy shit. And me and my father both jumped up, and we keep, orange flags in our backpack. And we're like at the end out there, like, what are you doing? And I mean, that guy couldn't apologize enough, but like if he had shot us, that would have been bad. I mean,
dude.
But he did. He blasted the living hell out of my decoy. I mean,
So I just want to get this straight. So you didn't want to shoot a $70 decoy, so you left someone else shoot it.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. And I even called for him. I made it sound real,
Yeah, so you set it up that you had to feel like that decoy had to die that day and you didn't want to do it.
Exactly. I should have went over there and just kicked it over, but yeah, luckily we weren't set directly behind the decoys. I never set decoys other than duck hunting straight out in front of me. When it comes to turkeys, I always try and like to get them as they're coming to the decoys.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it because they're more focused on the decoys. They're not focused on you. If you move while a turkey's in your decoy spread and you're right there, he's gonna see you. So I've always been one to be like, I can switch my position as he's passing me or before he gets to me. But yeah, that was definitely a super scary experience. That guy just let loose coming up out of this drainage ditch in the field. And shot the living crap out of my decoy. And I was like, whoa, At first, I think you just don't know what to do. And then secondly, I mean, he knew it instantly when the thing, like, didn't crumple like a live bird and nothing moved. Like, he just, like, oh, crap, And, but it was a scary experience. My dad was like, yeah, I don't think we need to hunt this spot anymore. Which I killed 2 more birds out of that spot the next year anyways. But, everybody knew around town that story of like, because we told some people, and my brother talks to everybody. He's like the town crier. So he was telling everybody about it, and it got back. We didn't mention any names of who had done it because we didn't want to blast anybody,
Sure.
And it was a pure accident, but it could have been really bad.
Sure.
So,
well, I think there's a good lesson in there for all of us, and something that like I don't always take seriously is just that like you may be thinking, or you know it's there, that it's not real, but for somebody else that's just walking by, or even for a young or inexperienced hunter, or even a very experienced hunter from a distance, they're designed to look like what they are. So
a
it's
real
just like
turkey,
don't take it for granted. So I'm glad that turned out the way that it did.
Yeah.
I know a guy who hunts turkeys. The old helmet, the old army helmets, the old round army helmets. He has a turkey on the front of it. The fan. The fan, the turkey fan.
Yeah.
He has that mounted to the front of his helmet.
So does he reap? He reaps them basically then with it.
He belly crawls across fields right through them and shoots them at 30 yards.
So I actually have a turkey reaping decoy that you can go out through behind, and I will only use that thing on private land that I know nobody else is there ever. And I've killed turkeys at 10 yards with that thing. Like they'll run to you in the field sometimes. Oh yeah, you can get them right in the middle of the field, sitting behind that thing in a pair of blue jeans, and just scoot out through the field with it. And it's got like a shotgun hole that you can stick out through there and shoot them through the shotgun hole. But it's extremely dangerous, and a lot of states have outlawed that because of that factor. But it can be done on private land where nobody's going to be.
Yeah.
Now you know why So that 160-inch buck, Dave and them are giving me a hard time about and said, you should have just shot it and drug it off the guy's land. Who cares? That's a 160-inch buck.
No,
But
no,
now
no.
you know. Now you know why I don't do that, because it gives my daughter a spot of safety. I can take her out. She can kill a deer. I don't care about horns. It doesn't mean a doggone thing to me.
Mm-hmm.
That experience, if you watch that video with my daughter, meant more to me than any set of horns you can give me.
Yep.
So
100%. And there's no looking over your shoulder. Like, you're not like, oh, who's going to find out? And what? Like, the worst thing you can do is regret doing. Like, if you were to shoot a deer and then regret it, like that,
Yeah.
especially when it's a clean harvest and you're just like, man, if I could have done this the right way and really enjoyed it, but now I'm just going to just be worried about it. I can't tell anybody. I'm worried about it. It's not the right thing. They're going to come take my crossbow or my guns if that. So it's just not worth it. You
Yeah.
know?
I've lost so much land over my life that I'm just not willing to lose anymore. You know, and I'll pass on 10 160 class bucks if that means my daughter has a place to hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I shot a turkey once 5 foot away. The rest of the people in the grocery store were freaking out, but I got him. It was right.
He didn't move at all, did he?
It was like never saw me coming. It was.
I bet not.
Did you call him in?
I was in a giant uniform, so I had all the perfect camo on.
Perfect. You had a Cocoa Puffs box on your head. You were
Exactly.
ready.
They never
I'm
saw me.
assuming you're not allowed back in that store.
Or in the county.
Yeah, well, there is that.
They say, Chris, get back to the bags, man.
Hey, I know we're getting close to our mark. Jasper, my daughter wanted to tell you something.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love your brow hooks.
Oh, thank you so much.
I carried my pheasants on them. I tied it on. I put the hook on my belt loop
Dude,
on my
that is
belt,
so cool.
and I carried them out. I love that.
That gives me like that. That's good stuff right there.
Yeah,
Thank
he
you
has a
so much.
picture. He has a picture of them on the hook on my pants.
He sent them to me. They're awesome. We're gonna put them on. I made sure it was all right with him. Is it okay with you if we put them on Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We've got that planned. I think it's. I'll even tell you what day we're gonna put them on.
So she wears a regular vest with no bag.
Well, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, Dad, where do I go with these pheasants? Because like she's never done it. You know, I don't, if she gets into small game like I think she will now, I'll buy her a vest with a bag. But she's never just really deer hunting and you need the orange for the cover, you know?
Absolutely. Gotta have
So
it.
we're walking and she goes, Dad, what am I supposed to do with these pheasants? And I threw her a brow hook out the woods. I said, put this on. And she goes, what do I do with that? So we tied all the feet of the pheasant together and just hung the pheasant right on the brow.
Dude, that's so
She
cool.
was in heaven. She was like, this thing's awesome. It's like, look, I don't even. She was laughing. If you look in the picture, she kept pushing her hip up. She kept saying, look at this thing. It holds the birds. I ain't even got to hold them.
There you go. And next thing you know, you'll be hanging turkeys and rabbits and all kinds of things on there. That's good.
I like
That's so
rabbit
cool.
hunting's cool.
Turkey
I
and
just
geese
don't
heads
like
and
the
ducks heads
stickers.
should fit right in it.
I
I'm
don't like
thinking.
the stickers for rabbit hunting, but it's
Wait,
it's
because all the briars and everything. Yeah,
I was
that's kinda
like getting stuck in them and like I was like half crying at one point. It was bad.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
cool
That,
see
that,
them
that,
eagles
sounds
work,
a
though.
lot like
Oh
my
yeah,
first rabbit
like
hunting
to see the
experience.
dogs work too is like amazing. Like how I seen my dog work. I was like, I don't even care if I don't shoot a pheasant. I just want to see my dog flush one out. Like, and it's-
You know, I tell people that about bird hunting and small game hunting, and they never, like, people who haven't done it never understand what I'm talking about. But
It's just
I'm
like-
sure we could all agree that is like
Yeah.
90% of the fun.
yeah.
There.
What is this?
That's you.
Oh gosh.
That's your brow hook. Look, I didn't notice. Look, there it is.
I
So
didn't even
cool.
take a video of me.
Listen, you want to hear something funny? Watching that video. So on the way out,
Oh, there's
we were running into other people coming in and out with dogs. My dog, when them other dogs would try to come over and smell them pheasants,
like running
she
away.
kept taking her head and she'd nudge the dogs away. And the one
She's like, get out of here. These are
I
mine.
didn't notice it. The one hunter said to me, he said to his dog, hey, get over here. She ain't letting you near them. She don't like that. And I never noticed because my dog's not aggressive or anything in any way.
Sure.
But you could tell she was like, you ain't taking these, bro.
That is so cool. I love to watch their gears turn when they're, especially when like a situation like that where like they've worked for it and they're excited about it and they're trying to figure it out. So like when we've had times where we've shot a bird and then the dog goes out and the bird just landed closer to us than it realized, and so it was out sweeping for it, and we just picked it up and put it in our bag, and they're just like not about it. They're like, dude, that's my job. What the heck? Like they come over to you and they're like kind of like they're smelling out the bird and they're like, what the heck happened? And they're disappointed because they're like they wanted to get it and they wanted to bring it to us. It's like, oh man, it's like I'm never gonna pick up a bird again.
Last year I walked 2 miles to a field. Dog flushed a bird. I missed it 3 shots. The dog literally sat on the ground, spun back, and was like, "Are you serious? Are you serious right now?"
Yeah.
She's in there sitting on my chair.
I think I edited that video.
Yeah, Chris edited that video.
Did you put a voiceover on there as well? It was like wah.
I should have.
You didn't need a voice. That video did all its own.
I did do the slow-mo so you could see the wad shoot right behind it each time.
That's brutal, man. That's
Yeah.
brutal. I have a couple of those from that pheasant hunt on my birthday.
Nice.
I got a couple of those for sure. In fact, that's what these are from. Which brings me, I know we are, like you said, we're getting close to our time. I did have one question for you. Ben, I've seen that you've been, I think I'm not sure who it is. Somebody is tying.
I'm gonna rip that curtain down.
Come here.
Oh yeah,
Time
Skip
flies.
is tying flies, right?
Yeah, Skip
Who
does
is-
that.
Skip.
You skip. So I just found out that where I live is like right next to one of the like biggest steelhead fisheries in the country. I'm like an hour drive away from this. And a very close friend of the family, he loves to fly fish. I've had a fly rod. I have an 8-pound rod and a 5-pound reel. I've only fished like 3 times with it. And we were talking and I brought it along and we were just chit chatting. He gave me like this beautiful antique, like Orvis 8-pound reel.
Go for it.
And
Bye,
we're gonna get it set. Oh,
Good
good
night.
talking with you, Haley. But we're gonna get it set up, and this spring I'm gonna start fly fishing. So like I'm starting to get amped about it, and now like I'm looking kind of like I'm peeling back the very first layer of everything, and it's like, dang, there is so much to dig my teeth into.
There's a lot.
Oh, dude, I cannot wait. And I'm looking at we have a couple of ideas for products already that we can like put out to help people. But that brow hook, just like even putting it on your wader belt or whatever, it's super handy already. So I'm excited to kind of dig into that world and learn how to really like fly fish. I honestly, I'm so amped about it.
So Skip, Ellard Nyman is his right name. I've known him as Skip my whole life. I saved his life years ago. And that's the truth.
Wow.
He had a heart attack. I was a supervisor. That's how we were friends before that, but that's how we got real close. He was walking across a roof with a thing of shingles and he had a heart attack and fell.
Wow.
So, so we were close before that, but that just made us a lot closer.
Sure.
So Skip is an avid fly fisherman. You get a hold of Skip, just tell him Big Sexy told you to get a hold of him, and I promise you that man will help you with anything you need.
Dude, that'd be cool.
He is phenomenal. He will tie. If you have something you need tied, he'll tie it. Another guy we deal with flies, this was before Skip got big into the tie-in, was Mike from Possum Creek Flies. We had him on as a special guest about a year ago. He's actually out your way.
Oh, cool.
He's big into tying flies. He will tie any fly you can resemble.
It's called he's Possum Creek.
Yep.
Well, if any of those guys want any squirrel tails or feathers of any sort, let me know, and I will get stuff mailed out to them.
Well,
That's what I was going to ask. That was actually the root of my question, because I was going to see if you kept the pheasant capes for your fly tying.
See, and I don't tie them. Skip does. But I can tell you, Skip will use every feather, every Man, he uses that stuff. Another one Skip uses a lot, and I only know from talking to him, is deer tail.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's a huge one. He actually takes the people's tails off the hide, and he'll use that. That
Those
brown-
long white hairs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've got a whole deer sitting in my barn.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've got. So I know we had talked about that. Maybe we didn't talk about this. So I got a deer. I got a button buck on. I guess this was just before Christmas, and oh man, it was awesome. I got footage. It was crazy, dude. I was using my crossbow, and it was like this little group of like 3 does and a button buck. I thought it was a doe, and ended up connecting on it. And we'll talk more about it some other time. But it was an awesome hunt, and it was like one of those ones where everything just came together perfectly. And but I kept I skinned. I brought it home. I skinned it out, and I've got the skin now piled up. It's been so cold here, I haven't had to worry about putting it in a freezer or anything. So I'm gonna stretch it, and I think I'm kind of playing around with the idea of documenting the process of learning how to flesh the hide and then preserve it and then work the hide and condition it so that I can use it as a hair on hide to put just over a couch back or something like that. So
That's
Cool.
yeah. But I'll have plenty of hairs to make my flies with, I guess.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Skip loves it, man. You watch him. He's posting every day. Winter time, that man's making thousands of flies. He's getting ready for spring. And he was just fly fishing the other day. The first day we had after that cold snap, he was fly fishing.
Really? Wow. Dude, I think this is going to be like, besides actually, like my major thing has been deer hunting, but I feel like deer hunting and like fly fishing are going to become.
Fly fishing is so much fun. Chris, you've been fly fishing. Never did it before. So we went to pay to
Limestone.
fish. I took him out to a pay to fish place, and I told him, you're going to learn to fly fish today. There's actually a video on it. We have a YouTube video up on it.
That's awesome.
Chris, how cool is fly fishing?
Oh, it's pretty neat. Yeah.
So
I'm not a
Orvis,
big fisher, but
yeah, Orvis up in Vermont has like a little school. If you buy a fly rod from them, they let you go through their little school. They have ponds actually where they sell stuff, and you can go catch their like factory trout out there, basically.
Sure.
Pretty neat.
Dude, that's cool.
I actually have some of the nicest, should have been in the trash Orvis rods you'll ever see in your life. So one of my clients that I shoe horses for was the fly rod manager for Orvis in Vermont. And that's where they make all of their fly rods. Every single fly rod that has ever been made for Orvis has come out of that shop in Vermont.
Wow.
And literally, he's looked at all of them. He was their manager for probably the last, I'm going to say, probably 10 to 12 years. And if there is literally a chip in any numbering or lettering or a run in the paint, it has to be destroyed. It's got to go.
Yeah.
So basically, he got a thing where like, hey, I'm the fly rod manager. If I wanted these fly rods, can I have them? And they're like, yes, you can have them, but you can't sell them or you're instantly terminated. So he would give them away as Christmas presents every year to all of his friends.
That's awesome.
Whatever. So I have a 9-weight, a 7-weight, and a 5. And then I have a duplicate of the 9 in a different color. They're all like Helix 2s. Really, really nice fly rods that if you and I were sitting down and we were just studying it for 2 hours, we wouldn't find what's wrong with it, but he can pick it out in 2 seconds.
Wow.
And he's seen so many fly rods. So I have a pile of them that I've never used because, like,
dude,
it's just something I don't really do. So
that's so cool.
Well, if you ever feel like not using a 5-weight and sending it to my house, I won't be upset.
I'll see what I can do.
There's the fingers. Look, he's doing it now.
I'll see what I can do, guys.
That's so cool, though, man. I mean, even the fact that weights and all those different things, there's so much to learn. So that's
I
probably-
actually know all that stuff, and I did fly fish for like, I don't know, maybe a year or so, 2 years, and then just like it didn't really pique my interest that much.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it like at that time he was like, "Oh, you want some fly rods?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I'll take some fly rods." And then it just spiraled out of control. I mean, I've got Orvis reels for all of them. Like it's like, here, Merry Christmas. You know, you get the nice metal tins and the whole nine. So I think I've got one rod that doesn't have a metal tin that was just like this one's got a pretty bad run in the paint. Do you want it? And I was like, sure, whatever. You know, so it's pretty cool. His whole shop is, you know, the cork ends for coat rack hangers and stuff, with junk fly rods that he just cut them off and hang them up. It's pretty neat.
That's so cool.
John Maddox is the guy's name. Super nice people.
Maddox?
Yep, John Maddox. He was the fly rod manager for Orvis. I don't know if he's still working for them or not, but I can ask him. I got to see him in the next 2 weeks. So, super nice guy.
That is super cool, man. That's what it's all about. Connecting with
Orvis is
people
only
over
about
cool things, right?
Orvis is probably only about an hour and a half from me. So I can drive, hit Vermont, and go up into Manchester, and it's right there.
Wow.
So
That's awesome. But listen, we are way past time.
yeah. I got to get off anyways, but I'm still selling tickets for spots for the shotgun guys. I think I got 10 or so sold so far. And we'll just keep rolling with that. And once they're all sold, we'll go from there. Draw a
Sounds
name
good.
on the Wheel of Sexy.
I'm going to spin this. Let me spin this wheel. So tonight we do a wheel spin. I have, give me a second here. I'm going to take screen sharing from Chris. I just got out, didn't I?
Yeah. Go. Where's your?
I got it right here.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to screen share a minute. Give me 1 second. Share screen.
I'll let you guys know about the snow goose hunt too. If I can
Yeah,
keep
let
you-
me know. Get more info because I'm definitely interested in checking that out.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's 25 birds a man per day. And I think it's a rental for the whole day. Like, you know, you got it from sun up till sundown kind of deal.
It's a lot of shooting.
That is.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know if you guys have ever watched the snow goose migration. You know, we say they hunt over 10,000 decoys, which is slightly excessive by about 5,000 or more. But you watch these birds come in and you can't even see the sky because there's so many of them. And when they drop into a decoy spread, you shoot usually once and 4 or 5 are falling out of the sky. Like it's not like Canada goose hunting or duck hunting. Like it's like spray and pray, and there's tons of them. So, you know, it becomes one of those deals where like buddies are shooting buddies bag limits because we're just in the right spot at the right time, just
Right.
powering up birds. So, I'm gonna keep going with trying to get some of my friends and whatnot, see if they want to go. Like I said, $3,000 for the rental for the day. When you break it down on 14 guys, it's $214 and change, which is super cheap. Because guess who
Yeah,
doesn't have to buy decoys? Me.
Yeah, well, I mean, regardless, if you don't have to do anything but go there and hunt, that's a ridiculous price.
That's what I'm saying. It's stupid cheap.
Yeah.
So I will let you guys know. And again, like I said, shotgun raffle still going on, the whole 9. So you guys have a great night.
Well,
And,
thanks for joining us, Brandon.
yeah, I'll catch you guys next week.
I'm going to let my daughter spin this wheel quick.
Go
and then
for
we'll
it.
call the night. Haley, you ready?
Night, guys.
So the first wheel is the names, and then we'll tell you what prize you won. So you got to put that button in the middle. Yep, hit that button. Okay, hold on a minute. That's the winner. Let me take a picture so that we can move forward. I want to make sure I can put the name up. Okay, there's your winner.
Yep.
Now you go to this one, and we're going to hit the prize wheel, see what prize they won.
Ready?
Hit the wheel.
Wheel of Sexy.
Cool.
There you
Do
go.
I hit remove then? For
There you go.
Yep,
Since
just
he-
go up the StreamYard, go back up here.
Okay.
Hell, he's local. I could probably send that into BG's for Cat.
Brian Lutz is from Catawissa, I believe. I can get that to him without you sending it anywhere.
Okay.
Hey, I don't live far from Catawissa. I'll message a guy. I'll just meet him,
Sounds good.
and I'll save us the, the
Save everybody the shipping fee.
I
Yeah.
stopped it.
that way. There's no point in the fee.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I always appreciate our time together.
Yeah.
We hit a milestone today that we all got to share in about the first 15 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
which was gun hunting funded at 2,000. So I am super stoked. Yeah, I know I'm the same way, man. Super stoked about it. Super stoked that we're moving so far forward. And I don't know if you guys are realizing, but the views. I mean, there's times we have 25 live viewers at once, which is a dramatic change from when we first started this thing. And then as it plays, the viewers just build, each week. And I absolutely love it. So I appreciate you guys getting on. Jasper, join us every Monday, man. If you want to join, you just jump in.
That's why I send you the link, baby.
I appreciate it. I've really been enjoying just listening and also putting in where I can, but love it. Love what you guys are
We
doing.
learn off each other. We learn off each other. I learn from you. You learn from me. Chris learns from both. We learn from Chris. And that's what makes it so cool. Different stories, different areas. And I just love it. I love the conversation that we get to share in something we all love and enjoy.
Couldn't have said it better. Thank you so much, guys.
All right, y'all.
Thank you. We're going to have a
Thanks,
good
Haley.
night, man. God bless everybody.
Thanks. Have fun.